All right, we need to get back on working on projects for other people, because some of them have been dragging on for years. There's only one of me, and there's a lot more projects than one guy can handle. So we're gonna go get one of them and bring it back here, because I think it'll be easier to work on over here where I got all my stuff than try to take a whole bunch of stuff over there. So that's what we're gonna do right after this. All right, eventually, hopefully this week, I can get my truck out of here, because it needs to go. It's been in here long enough. But we need to work on some tractors here. We're gonna start with this one, and I guess work our way down the line, finishing up projects that I never got done a good while back. This one is totally done, except for we need to change the oil in these front planetaries. And the only reason I didn't do that was because it was gonna go to a show the next day, and I didn't want to spill any oil on that white paint by accident and then spend hours and hours trying to clean it up in the last second. So we'll get that done, and then it'll be totally done. There was something else though that he just told me the other day I needed to check on this, and I don't remember what it was. I guess I'm gonna have to call him. There's some type of issue. Boy, I just can't remember what he said. I'll call him and find that out. This one we've been totally through. I mean, in its lifetime, this is their main workhorse for years, but it's got a bad problem that we're gonna need to address, and that is the oil pan has started leaking. It's got a crack in it. It's aluminum oil pan, being a Perkins, and so I'm gonna try to just take it out. I think I can get it out through the hole in the bottom of the frame, but you know, I'm sure that something will throw a curveball at us. Anyway, I've got that 1850 in pieces. I'm just gonna sell the oil pan off of mine, providing that it's good, so that this will be back in business, because this is a very usable tractor. Maybe it was this one he said there was another problem. Was it this one that he said he couldn't get the steering wheel to telescope? I'm betting that he didn't remember that you turn the knob to telescope it, because I just put all this on here. This tractor had been converted to the new style steering, and he didn't want that. He wanted it back to original. So I found good original parts and put it back that way. I bet it was the 1955 that he was having trouble getting it to telescope. We'll check that in a minute. This one should be fine. He spent a ton of money on this. I've had every nut and bolt out of this tractor. It's essentially a brand new tractor. It needs to get to the paint portion of it, but everything is new. I mean, it's hard to imagine wrapping up so much money into one, but when you've got something that's brand new, and it drives like it too. I've said that before. It's unbelievable how tight everything is when it's been gone through. But the only thing I probably didn't go through is I didn't take the front axle all the way apart. We put a wide front on. He wanted hydraulics put on, but it was stuck, locked up whenever we started. So everything has been gone through. That needs paint. It's done. This one is totally ready to roll too, except tractors develop problems, especially when they sit. You know, it just seems like stuff happens. If I recall, I want to check that oil in the front differential on here. I don't know that I got that done when we did all the servicing, because this one is recessed down in there. The way the front axles are made, or the carrier, is a little bit different. So we need to double check that. It's got a lot of hydraulic leaks, just like tractors do from sitting. It blew that loop line. We fixed that one time. You know, but the big thing is the air conditioner, something exploded. I'm pretty sure it was the compressor, but we're gonna have to sort that out, because we did a lot of work on the AC system, including putting a new compressor on it. But if it's grenaded now, I got to figure out why. If that's is it because of the compressor? I mean, we put new lines on in a lot of places. I can't remember what all I've done. It's been so long ago. I didn't replace that whatchamacallit there on the back. It has a little bit of a crease in it where you can see somebody's backed it into something, but it wasn't leaking. And then I made new fan setup for in there, which I've talked about before, but I'll try to show that better whenever we get to that point. But this one was the low priority tractor, I believe. He said he wanted it done last. I think, if I remember, we need to check the oil in this entire front axle on this one, because this one's got those spacers and I never got it done either. So this one, the wheels have to come off, unless there's some fancier way that I don't know about, but I don't think there is, because you got to get in. I mean, there. I guess it can be done. It's just going to be figuring that out. But anyway, this one, we're going to, like I said, we're going to start down here and work this way. That's what he wanted. Also, that Ferguson, it's going to need attention at some point. We never got it totally finished with what he wanted. The steering box needs attention. It's got some play in it. When you drive down the road, he said it's got a lot of play. I'm hoping that it can be adjusted up a little tighter without having to totally tear it apart. You know, I'm hoping that I can maybe take up some of that where it's a lot better. But you know, it is what it is. We'll figure it out. I've also got his emblem, power steering emblem, to go on here. It hadn't yet arrived when I did all this, but let's see. Yep. This one, the button, it won't telescope, so we're gonna have to mess with that. But that's good. We'll do that when I have it at home. All right, let's hit the road. this specific model. I wasn't entirely sure what the fill location would be, the orientation. What I mean is, obviously when you drain it from the bottom. But on some of these four-wheel drive jobs, they want you to have it at, you know, such and such a clock to fill it. This one I looked in the book and it is horizontal. So when we fill it, it's going to be horizontal. It also says to remove this plug here to drain. And I wonder if that's going to really make that much difference or if it's just going to go slower. But we're gonna see what happens. And of course, this is a hex-headed job. We're going to try to use the Forma funnel. I want to say that it's loose enough that a guy could turn it out by hand, but it give a little more control. Here. All right. Sure, throw the tools away, sure. I have no idea what's going to come out of here. Oh, way more than necessary. And indeed, I did get some on the white paint. I knew that would happen. That's why I didn't want to do it before that show. I tried, friends. I tried. Kind of a bummer what I just did, but it's okay. I bought some brand new blue shop towels. So we will deal with that here shortly. All right. At least it won't rust, you know? At least it won't rust. I guess the right thing to do would be just to let this drain a while. You know? I don't think taking out this is going to gain me anything. I mean, there's enough room in there now that air can go through, so it just maybe was slower than what it should have been, but it'll be fine. All right, I think we're good enough that we can fill this side. And so I'll put this plug in just to keep it from dripping quite so bad the whole time. Oh, I like how I made a mess anyway, even after. That's not too bad. We'll give it a once over again before we're done. But I gotta pull it forward now where it's even, or horizontal. And what I've done, because you can't always see it from the seat, is I stuck a piece of tape to the tire. All I had was electrical tape, but I can see it if I lean over. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit easier than jumping on and off all the time. Alright, that moves the whole operation that way. And I think the easiest way to do this is going to be, the oil that he's got is in 2.5 gallon jugs. That's too hard to control. So I'm going to fill my little jugs here and then put it in there with a piece of hose. How much will it hold? Well, I don't know. But we're going to find out. One nice thing about it being ridiculously hot today is that the gear oil will flow about like water. Riveting entertainment, isn't it? The guy pouring oil in a front axle. I'm tempted to poke a hole in this to make it drain faster, but then of course it will always leak. Maybe okay, I got a better idea. I can make this go even much more better. I just have to get the appropriate stuff I've already made. Alright, first what you're going to want to do is make everything the most difficult way possible. I'm sure it holds more than a quart, so we'll start with that. Too hot. I can't imagine why. But we're gonna get it. I should have looked up the capacity. I didn't. But just looking at that, I imagine it's around 2 to 3 quarts. I would venture to guess. I might be wrong, it might be more. Right there, we're at 2. See, if I do it right, I will keep making a mess on absolutely everything. Alright. Ain't got nothing yet. Oh, camera's too hot, but I got this full, so it held just shy of 3 quarts if my filling capacity is to be believed. I had my bottles pretty full, so it may be actually 3 quarts, I don't know. All I know is I got it like they said in the book, and I filled it till it ran out, so we're gonna say that's good. And we got it mildly clean. There's still a little bit of, we're gonna have to police that a little bit before we are done. But that side should be done. So I think what I will do is I will do the other side, and then I'll bring you back when I tackle that. Try to figure out why our steering doesn't telescope, because you don't need to watch a guy drain oil out of the front end. That's just not that exciting. But as far as I know, that's the way these are. So when you fill them, they need to be horizontal, and then you should be good to go. So one more wheel, and then everything on this tractor has been serviced by me at least once. So that's what we need. All right, that's done. So everything on this tractor has been serviced by me at least once, which is what he wanted. That way we know for sure. Because when you buy something, I mean, you don't really know when it was. Now we're going to figure out this, which I hope we can do with minimizing damage. However, I don't know what I'm going to do with you, because this is a super duper painted up tractor and I don't want to stick my magnet to it. I'll put a paper towel down and stick you to that. If you can see, you can see. If not, use your imagination. It's harder to work on restored tractors because you just got to be so careful to not mess stuff up. So obviously moisture has gotten in here, and I feel like this is an occasion where I might make a special trip to town and buy some penetrating oil before I do anything, because I am betting that it was working and then it's just gotten stuck from sitting, because I don't imagine that the tractor restoration place would have sent it out without it working. Yeah, see, it's just that our button is stuck. So I'm gonna go, I know I don't have any on hand, so I'm gonna go to town because I need to go to the bank anyway. I'm gonna go to town and I'm going to buy some stuff and let that soak a little bit, and then work it back and forth, and then I think it'll be fine. It's just, you can tell it's a lot of surface rust, so that's good that that's all it is. But I'm gonna soak that with some penetrating oil, and then I might even put some grease down in there around it or something to try to keep some moisture off of it, and then we'll put this cap back on it. You know, as good as they are, it's gonna leak. You know, eventually the rubber lets moisture through, so that's why it is the way that it is. But that'll be a relatively easy fix, and then this tractor will be done, and then we can go get the 1850 and we'll bring it over here and we'll start in on it. We got a lot of work to do. I promise too many people things, you know, and then it just doesn't get done. So I'm gonna get this for this guy, try to plug through his stuff. We need to get that 550 done for the guy. He's got a 1650 in pieces we need to finish. And then I've got a whole bunch of my own stuff I want to do. And I'm pretty sure that after that 1650 of that other guy, I'm not going to take any more projects for a good while of other people's, unless they're quick or I'm super desperate for money, because I got a whole shed full of stuff that I'd like to accomplish in my life without worrying about other people's problems. So that's my plan, but I'll bring you back here in a little bit. I'll go get some stuff. All right, back from town. Got some magical lubricant that I've used before. It's supposed to really get in there. I also bought some tread tape and put tread back on his platform like they're supposed to be, because yeah, it's kind of treacherous when you get off, especially I guess for me, because I'm used to these tractors using them, and when you get on one that's real slick, I've kicked my foot out from under me before. There was a guy, an old farmer, who had, him and his brother had several 1855s and whatever, and I went over and worked on one or something, and they used it every day, and the platform was wore and shiny, and I about busted my face getting off of there because it was so slick from being used every day that, yeah, my foot kicked out from under me. So I'm a fan of the tape, is what I'm saying. We're gonna have to wait a little bit and let that soak down in there. And we'll have plenty of time to do that, because another thing that he and I just talked about, he said, go ahead and put the battery cutoff on it. And so you saw me do that before, and we're gonna do something that harkens back to the dealer days. I'm gonna take parts off of tractors here on the yard to get him going, because I just put that whole setup on my 1755, and instead of waiting and fabricating a bracket for him and all that, I'll just take everything off mine and put it on this one, and it'll be ready to go today. And then I'll make a new setup to put back on my tractor. So we'll do that here in a second. That will give this button time to kind of absorb the situation, you know. It moves, but we want to make sure that it moves the best that it can. I'm starting to finally get the full rebound, which I wasn't getting before, you know. See there, it didn't. But we'll get this, you know. A little lube never hurt anybody. I'm just glad that it came loose so easy, because I've had them, man. That one 1955 I worked on for a guy, it was a rusty ball of sadness. So, you know, guys who left them sit outside to run augers and left the steering wheel up like this with no cap, that thing just filled full of water. So, yeah, we'll let this soak a little bit and we'll go on to other things. All right, let's part out this running tractor. You know, why not? It does kind of leave a hole in my heart to do that, but the good thing is, if you stuff enough $100 bills in there, that hole will close right up. So the beauty of this is we should have everything we need right here, I believe. Yeah. I'm not sure about if I can use his ground cable, question mark. We may have to check that, but we'll take it all off of here and then we'll do accordingly so he's got the best of everything. But this bracket's painted and ready to go, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Yep, you just saw me put it on there not too long ago and now it's coming off again. So sad. I wonder if, which I didn't, I'm a dum-dum. See, had I been a smart person. Oh, that's the positive cable. Had I been smart, what I was saying is I would have brought a 3/4 inch so that I could take that bolt loose. Easy peasy. And the 1650 is right behind me, and I remember putting a 3/4 inch in there. What are the chances that I didn't rob it out of there already and it's still in there? Pretty low. There is a vice grip in here. Will that do it? Oh yeah, it'll do it. Since everything's new. Actually though, that is actually, if I recall, we're gonna have to put this back on right away because that is actually the bolt that holds my platform together. So we can't run this tractor till we finish. Oh, silly me. And the stuff I get myself into. Ugh, it's hot even in the shade. Okay. Here's what we need. Okay. Well, on this one, son of a Knudsen, when they had the platform off, they put the bolt in the other way. So we're gonna have to figure that one out. I think I made, Knudsen, I thought that I made different battery cables for this tractor, but I guess I didn't. I might have made a jumper cable, but those are on there when they were painted. And his, of course, is backwards of mine for whatever reason, which is okay. I mean, we got enough stuff to do it. But what I'm gonna have to do is, well, we're gonna use his ground cable, which is fine. That's what I had intended to do. I think I can put everything on or together once I get the switch mounted on the thing. So there's my battery cable I need to take back to my 1755. Then at least I can run it, you know. We need to get this bolt out of here. How hard is it going to be, you know? Did the painter do a super tight job? Or, there we go. It's going to come. Which it doesn't matter which way the bolts are in, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just that I'm going to have to feed it through my bracket to start with, which is perfectly fine. It just means I have to take the whole shebang loose. But I want this tractor done today. I want to take it back over and put it in his building. I don't want it sitting here where something bad could potentially happen to it. Ah, nerds. That won't work either. It's gonna make me check it worse. So stupid. Oh, there we go. Almost. We're getting it, friends. We're getting it. It's just one of those situations I find myself in. It's gonna look sweet though on here, just like it did on mine. Truth be told, I ought to redo the one in the 1855 because I like this design better that I made. The one on the 1855 is a smaller battery cutoff switch, and I have it mounted frontwards, like this way. But I like this design better. Plus, this is a lot heavier switch. At the time, it's whatever I could get from there. Alright. I'm going to take the battery cable loose, which you probably can't see. It's way under there. Maybe. Now this is not going to play nice, is it? That's a nice heavy battery cable, but it's not going to play fit in there nice, is it? Here. All we got to do is get it where it goes through that hole in the lid. That's my only concern. And of course I didn't bring a 9/16, which there's one right over here. I'll get to be able to put that on that way. I know I've put batteries in this before, but other than that, I don't always remember what I've all done. I mean, this essentially was a totally restored tractor. However, there were things we didn't like on it, so I changed some stuff to make them my way. But I need to get that tight first before we do anything. We're gonna go. Okay, everything except that back bolt is the right way. And the reason being, I want to figure out how my routing of cables is going to go. think that was way up. Okay, now, if I tighten that there, everything will be out of the way. That's tight. Just need to tighten the other cable. Alright. Funny how the second I pick the camera up, then it overheats. But at any rate, we're ready to try it. We should have nothing now. Nothing. We do this, we should have everything. Yep. Good deal. I gotta walk around this one. I can't reach the shutoff. Bad part about those side shutoff ones, can't reach it all from the ground if you're on one side or the other. But that looks snazzy, just like it did on mine. And like I said, we got, you know, of course we can't see anything from this side, but it works. We proved that. So that should be good to go. Now the only thing left to do is finish our steering and take it back to him. And then we will be done with this tractor. So, good deal. All right, we should be good to go. Everything's the way it needs to be. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else left on this tractor that I feel needs attention right now. So he can use it for his hay rides or whatever he wants to do. But I think we're gonna call it good, take it back. I'll probably bring that 1850 back over here and we'll tear into it. But as far as this video goes, I think we're gonna call it here. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.